Hello and welcome to another episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. If you haven't watched one of my videos before, every other Monday I put a new episode out where I take a look at something from the world of anime that I want to do a deep dive in, or just like maybe even a primer or an explainer. It could be a subgenre, it could be a look ahead, it could be a look back, or in this case, it is something I've done several times before. I'm going to look at all of the Isekai in the fall 2022 season. Now, of course, I watch a lot of Isekai. You know that if you watch any of the videos, I've done explainers on it. You can find those in the playlist. I've talked about, and also, like I said, I've talked about the anime that has come out in a season, and one of it is the Isekai. Sometimes we have a ton of them. Next season, we're getting a lot. This season, not too many of them. So it is easy for me to talk about all of them. Now, I will say this, percentage-wise, this is probably the most isekai I'm watching of what's available for any given season, in that I'm currently watching 3 of them. I will be watching a 4th when new episodes start airing, out of 5. Because, yeah, we're only talking about 5 shows. Now, you may argue that one of the shows I'll be talking about in this video is not an isekai, and I'm willing to have that argument, but I consider it to be one, so we'll go from there. Anyway, we're not even talking about that yet. We'll talk about that in a minute or two. Right now, let's talk about Reincarnated as a Sword, the best isekai this season, I think, pretty much hands down the best. You have Fran there in the photo, and you have a decent shot of the sword. The sword that someone who does not remember his past, but does remember that he existed in a different world, has been reincarnated as a sword. The sword has magical abilities. It is a very powerful, kick-ass sword. So he's killing monsters and acquiring skills and kind of just being like, I don't know this is all I can do. I might as well do that. And then he gets stuck in an area where he can't levitate anymore, and his magic is being sucked into the ground. And he's a sword in the stone. And then he meets Fran, a beast girl, cat girl, who has been enslaved, and they form a bond. She uses him to perform great feats. By freeing him from the ground, he is now free to move around, and pretty quickly they get she refers to him as teacher. It is a symbiotic relationship built on immediate trust and a liking of one another. She thinks that the sword is incredible. He thinks she's a special person. He basically on numerous occasions comes to the conclusion, I think I might have been reincarnated to look after Fran. She has a goal. He doesn't really. Her goals kind of become his goal. It's a great manga. I'm enjoying the anime so far. It is a must-watch for me right now. So I recommend Reincarnated as a Sword. Also, animation is gorgeous. That is not a deal breaker for some people, but Isekai often doesn't get the big budget treatment these days. It gets the medium budget treatment, and I'm happy to say that Reincarnated as a Sword, at the very least, the episodes that I have watched are all that are available right now. I believe 4 episodes. They have not gotten into we got to pay a bunch of money for this other studio to put in some monsters that would have taken us far longer. So we're going to use CGI that doesn't match with the digital and looks terrible. They have not done that yet. This is a pretty gorgeous looking show. Another show, this is definitely a mid-tier budget-wise, is I'm the Villainous, so I'm taming the final boss. It is an otome game. It's a dating game. The dating game that I'll be talking about here does not exist, but our main character, while she was ill in the regular world, played this game on what looks to be a Switch. She played that game. She passed away. She is now the Villainous in the story. The Villainous, she was just like, it's not really that bad of a girl, honestly. Like, reasonable. Like, went too far, but was reasonable. And then also dies a ridiculous death. A joke death. So she's like, okay, well, I have my memories that I have been reincarnated at the moment that I have been, my engagement to the prince has been annulled. Well, there's only one thing for me to do. I'm going to go meet the final boss, in this case, the Demon Lord, half demon, half human, who should be the crown prince but isn't. I'm going to go, and I'm going to hang out with him, and I am going to make sure he does not become the full-blown demon lord dragon form and destroy everything to then be killed. And by everything I mean her. She's like, this is my best chance. And so it is a romance series. I will say at the point that I am with this, I have not watched the latest episode of it, which came out at the same time I'm recording this. They basically wrapped up the first arc of the manga, it seems like, or light novel. I assume this is based on a light novel, but like, it's a question of where it goes from there. But basically, she has within 4 episodes fixed the thing, and obviously there's going to be more things coming, and maybe they're based on like the second game in the series. I don't know, but like, she's already kind of worked on her fate, and it happened faster than I thought it would. There is like an incident that I assumed would happen in episode like 7 or 8 that happens in episode 3, and I was like, oh, okay. So I will say this is a fun take on it. It's not the best take on the I am been reincarnated as the villainess in a dating game, or the, like the not lead in a dating game. It's not the best version of that, but it is a strong, pretty great show. Music's fun. Characters are enjoyable. They play with tropes in a fun way. I do wonder if the light novel is a slower pace than the anime, and that might be interesting to some people, but I still think it's good. So yeah, I have positive things to say about the first 2. And I have positive things to say about the Isekai question mark that we'll talk about here, which is the 3rd season of Welcome to Demon School, Irma-kun. You can see Irma there with the blue hair and various characters that will be more of a focus this season. This was the promotional art that came out for it, because finding high quality art that is meant to be sent out to people, it exists out there. I just don't get it. I don't receive the cool high quality art because I'm not an influencer of note. But I did find this art and I thought it looked pretty great, so we'll include that. Welcome to Demon School, Irma-kun. Is it an isekai? According to the mangaka, no. According to popular sentiment, yes. In my opinion, an isekai is the different world anime. It does not mean you have to be reincarnated. It means you are summoned or sent to or arrive at a different world from your own. That's all it is. Irma was like a good boy in a world where people were not treating him well, including his parents, who sold him to a demon in the demon world. So he goes to demon school. He is not in his world anymore. You could say like, well, is hell a different world? And in my opinion, yes, because it's not necessarily hell, it's just where the demons live. That's me justifying my opinion. If you have a different opinion, that's fine. As I said, the manga does not consider this to be an isekai. I do. Anyway, it's a great isekai. It is a very funny, humorous show that occasionally its pacing is all over occasionally its pacing is all over the place. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, it bounces around. It's sometimes it's like, yeah, we get it. That's the bad guy. Just get to it. And other times it's like, whoa. We just got introduced to a ton of other characters, and new powers were introduced, and we're in another fight scene. Okay, because there is fighting with magic and weapons, and there also is school stuff and legends and all kinds of fun things. And then at the center of it is just a real good boy. Irma is he is just trying his best. He's trying to help people. He's trying to survive, obviously, but also not, like, he does want to blend in, but his good nature doesn't let him. And it's very fun. And you can see there's a girl over here, Clara. I've talked about her on stream before, or on video before, I believe. Clara is the best girl candidate every time there's a season. She's just great. She's just a wonderful, weird amount of energy and a question mark about what she will do, but it's always for fun. She's just the best. It's a great show. I recommend taking a look at it. Yeah. Welcome to Demon School, Irma-kun. It's season 3. That's a tough sell for some people because, like, well, I want to watch season 1. I would say you should start with season 1. There are a lot of episodes. It is a comedy series that gets double cores, and that is very rare to see like a 22 episode comedy show. So that is another reason why I like to talk about it when I can, because it's so rare to get that many episodes of a comedy, or to get a second season of a comedy, or a third season of a comedy. It's very tough. So hell yeah. Now let's go to a show that I guess I'm gonna come back to it. I guess. Uncle from Another World. You might like Pat. We're talking about the fall 2022 anime season. This was a summer anime, and yes, this show did debut in the summer. It had a couple week delay before it ended up on Netflix, and then it was weekly on Netflix. So it wasn't in jail. It wasn't in Netflix jail where the whole thing had to come out. But the whole thing hasn't come out. That's separate from Netflix being the distributor of this anime outside of Japanese television. It had COVID troubles. There was a studio shutdown for a while, and it has been delayed until this season. There are other issues that are rumored to be there that had nothing to do with members of the staff having COVID. It seems to be a fairly troubled production. So it is coming back in the fall season. Right now, it is re-airing the previous episodes that already aired in Japan. And then once it gets to new episodes, those new episodes will show up on Netflix. With a delay, we don't know. Immediately, we don't know. This is the standard thing when a show gets delayed, is they restart it with the new season to let people hopefully get caught up with it. It does mean that promotion goes down to basically zero outside of Japan, because there was already promotion being budgeted for the show by Netflix, probably. That's more in the case of other shows, and especially 2020 when a bunch of shows had to get shut down due to COVID. When they came back, that was not part of anyone's plans, because they have new shows to make plans to promote. So this will get lost in the shuffle, even more beyond being lost in the shuffle by being a Netflix series. It is one of the best isekai of the year. I've only watched the first couple episodes. I've been waiting because I'll get caught up and then watch the new ones. It's great manga. The take is, it is a post-isekai with also being an isekai, in that the isekai elements are flashbacks. It is, you may be hearing a phone ring, and I will not edit this video because we are almost done. So I refused to edit this video. So instead, you're just going to hear a phone ring in the background. Hopefully you didn't hear it, and you're just hearing me talk about it. But we'll see. Anyway, Uncle from Another World is a guy wakes up. He's been in a coma, but he knows, I was in another world, and I did not have a great time there. So it is him with his nephew and family in general, kind of piecing together stories from his perspective of what happened, their feelings on it. It is true. He is not hallucinating. These are not dreams. This did happen to him. And again, he did not have a great time in that fantasy world. And also, there are things about the modern world that are great, and things about the modern world that happened while he was asleep that he is not a big fan of. It's very funny. It's dark in some places and charming in other places. I recommend it. You can still watch the stuff that came out on Netflix. You won't get new versions of it because they're not doing new versions. They're just re-releasing it in Japan. And new episodes coming in November. So, yeah. Take a look at it. And last, the only isekai this season that I will not be watching, because I am not interested in watching it, is The Eminence in Shadow. If you were like, Pat, it's kind of incredible that there's not an isekai out this season that is a harem. There's this one. There's only one harem-based isekai. And there are dudes. Yes. What is this? What's going on? What is The Eminence in Shadow? Well, imagine that you're a edgelord, and you're like a middle school edgelord, and you don't want to be the hero of the story, but you also don't want to be the villain of the story. You want to be the secret, shadowy figure that controls the world. You want to be like, you imagine all these things. And then in your reality, in the real world, you're basically like Kick-Ass, but real. The character Kick-Ass. You don't Kick-Ass. You're the character Kick-Ass because you're trying to make that happen. And then you die and you end up in a fantasy world. And you make up a bunch of stories about these secrets and everything that's happening in the world and the shadow, the people that control things from the shadows. And then that stuff is real because it's a fantasy world. And the people that you've talked about these things and told them about all these stories, well, they're doing those things. And some of that is you're doing, and some of that is what's happening. And I don't think it's good. I mean, I sound like an asshole talking about it, I guess. I'm being condescending about it, but it's like, now I've told that the first episode of this anime contains scenes that were not in the light novel in the beginning, but maybe they come in later in the light novel. But anyway, they don't need to be there because they don't serve any purpose and they're just gross. So, content warning for the first episode, it sucks. But also content warning for the whole show, it sucks and it's not worth your time. This will be a very popular show with some people. I'm sure there are plenty of people that really like the light novel that are looking for this character. I have grown out of being interested in these edgelords. But if you liked Ari Fuerta and you wish that there was more anime like that, there were more isekai like that, if you like your overpowered main character who might even accidentally do the right thing, but is certainly not thinking of other people, they accidentally get helped along the way, that's just happenstance, you might like The Eminence in Shadow, but I don't think it's worth your time, and I don't recommend it. And as I said, it's the only isekai this season I know I won't be watching. There's a lot of shows this season that I'm not watching now that I would like to check out later, like Bocchi the Rock. I've heard very good things about that. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But there's a bunch of stuff this season that I am not watching that I would watch in the future more than I will watch this, is what I'll say. And that's every fall 2022 isekai. There exists the possibility that I missed one. I didn't include any Chinese anime, even, or animation, I should say, even if it has been subtitled and is out there, readily available. I did not mention it. I'm focusing on isekai here, the Japanese shows. So if I missed something there, I apologize. If I missed an anime that is an isekai, let me know. I don't think I did, but I might have. You let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if you're watching any of those shows right now. If you're watching Reincarnated Disorder, I'm the Villainous, so I'm taming the final boss, or Welcome to Demon School Irmakun, or Uncle from Another World, if you plan to get caught up, or watch the new episodes when they come out. If you're watching Eminence in Shadow, and you think it's great, and I'm a dumbass for not liking it, let me know in the comments. If you have any ideas for future videos you'd like to see me do, I think my next one is going to be this season recommendations, which might include Reincarnated as a Sword. But I might do like non-isekai I recommend this season. I might do that. I'm trying to do them later in the season because last season I recommended 2 shows that I ended up not enjoying. So I kind of wanted to wait a little while longer before I start going like, hey, this is the best shows for you to check out. I want to give a few more episodes. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you on the next episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, which will be, for me, in 2 weeks. For you, maybe it'll be less time because you didn't watch this right when it came out. Thanks so much for watching it. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.